past governors, Ravi and Ashok, my fellow Rotarians and my dear friends. In this heat, to sit down and listen to ethics, I think is not a very conducive atmosphere for the purpose of understanding and appreciating ethics at all. But I think it is necessary for us as Rotarians to spread the message of ethics and to ensure that we as Rotarians follow the ethics in our business, in our professional and in our personal life. At this moment, in my personal view, India's highest economic need is higher ethical standards. If you see the chart of one of the most corrupt countries in the world, we fall in the last quarter of the number of countries that are in the world who are supposed to be the most corrupt. And I think one Anna Hazare can't change the face of this country. Each one of us who are leaders in our profession, leaders in our business, need to lead by example, by following ethical stanzas that we must appreciate for ourselves. And why do we want to do it? I remember a friend of mine, when I was going to play golf at the Presidency Golf Club at Chembur, came with his 2 kids. On Saturday, Sundays, children are not allowed except on payment. Both his children were very small built, very tiny, very thin. Below 5, there was no charge. One of the children was below 5, the other one was 8 years of age. He was not a Rotarian, he was an ordinary human being. He said, one of my children is below 5, the other one is 8, please take the charge for the 8-year-old child. The clerk who was sitting there had seen so many people who come in Mercedes Benzes and posh cars walking in by misrepresenting the ages of their children. So curious, he asked this gentleman, sir, if you had said that both were below 5, I would never have been able to find out because I am not going to ask you for your birth certificate. So he said, you are right. But there are 2 people who are watching me in my action today. My children may know that my father is a liar. And the moment my children know my father is a liar, I am bringing up 2 children, future citizens, who are going to do exactly what I do. And that, I think, is where the difference that we must create. That difference that we must create is something by which we need to understand, as well put by Charles Carroll in Alice in Wonderland. Cheshire Puss, I don't know how many of you still remember the Alice in Wonderland stories, asked Alice, would you tell me please which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to go, said the cat. I don't care much where I go, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. And I think it is for us to create our path. It is for us to find out what is the path we want to create. And why do we need business ethics? We need business ethics because you are either winning or losing the trust of your customer and the society in the ethics that you follow in your business. And some point of time, it's a great leveler. Life is a great leveler. Mr. Raja thought that 2G will get away with it. But he didn't. At some point of time, Anil Ambani's company, ADG, thought they'll get away with it. Swan Telecom thought that they will get away with it. But sometime or the other, something happens by which the truth always comes out. The only thing that is permanent is truth. A lie can never be permanent. A lie will stand exposed at some point of time. And there is one thing, my friends, if we as Rotarians are going to just sit by, stand by, light a candle because the press is around and the television is around and because Anna Hazare's movement is taking place in Delhi, and after that sit back over a glass of beer or wine or chai, whatever is your poison, and say, oh, मैंने मेरा काम कर दिया, तो कुछ काम हुआ नहीं है, शुरुआत भी नहीं हुई. All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men like you and me do nothing about it. And the moment we do nothing about it, all that will triumph will only be evil. I still remember what Gandhiji said, and I think he said it so well. The earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed. I think we must all be grateful to the Lord when we do service, do matching grant projects in Rotary, lend a hand to serve, try to bridge continents to make service. And when we lend that hand, we realize how much better we are, how much better the Lord has made us to be. And if we are going to behave in a manner which is not honest, which is lacking in integrity, and which is going to be something as an example which you and I as leaders are going to leave behind for our children, for our family, for our relations in society, then I think, my friends, we're going to leave behind a legacy for which the coming generation will never forgive us. It's time that we open our hearts, have the courage to speak your mind. I always used to say when I was governor to all my presidents, I am a district governor, I am not God. I am leading equals and not leading unequals. Both you and I are leaders in the profession, therefore inducted into Rotary. Merely because I am a governor gives me no two special horns, does not give me a special place in the sun, but it gives me the same status and place that you and I are. Only difference is, you fortunately have not become governor, I unfortunately have become governor. So therefore, my friends, if that is the equal status that we enjoy, I think we need to appreciate that Rotary has given us a platform. Rotary has given a test which very few corporates or any service organization has had. A test of the four-way test, I appreciate, is not very easy to follow. इनकम टैक्स का रिटर्न क्लियर करना है तो कभी कभी कुछ कवर भी देनी पड़ती है, मैं मानता हूँ, पर इतना हद तक मत जाइए कि यू मेक इट इनटू अ हैबिट, make it a part of your business that corruption itself becomes your business. That's the only difference that we need to make, because in this corrupt country we need to have a slow change, but let us be the harbingers of that slow change. Let us make that small change in business and in ethics. I'll give you an example. A few years back, one Mr. Iqbal Chagla was a leading lawyer in Bombay, and I were appearing in a matter. During the course of our meetings with the client, we realized that there was one document which had definitely been fabricated. And we kept on asking the client, and the client refused to answer. But going into it in some depth, both of us realized that this document is a fabricated document, not a genuine document. क्या भैया बोलना अच्छा नहीं लगता है क्या आपको? मजाक कर रहा हूँ यार. तुम टेप मेरे मुंह पे मत मारना, उधर मार लो जितना मारना है. Mr. Chagla called me up in my office and said, Raju, please come, take a very crucial decision. In the meantime, I had done my own homework, and I told him, for these reasons, I think this document is false and is fabricated. There is no reference to this document for 3 years in any correspondence, and it can't be that the document surfaces automatically. The stamp paper was in somebody else's name. The notarization was done by a notary who was dead and probably died around the time the date of the document was there. So we found suspicion about the document. Both of us decided that we will not appear in the matter. But the matter was next day. So we had to go to court and tell the court that we will not appear in the matter. But at the same time, we did not want to do harm to the client, because ultimately the learned judge has to decide what is fabricated or not. We were working on suspicion. So we told him, the client, we are returning. It is a large corporate house, a leading corporate house in India, who stopped briefing Mr. Chagla and me after that matter. But we have no regrets, because the God is great. He gives you what you deserve, and you will get only what you deserve. You will never get more than what you deserve, however much you may crave for it. We told them we are not appearing. The clients went and said both counsel have returned the brief. The judges are no fools. They also realized that there is some reason why both these gentlemen have returned the brief. They also got to the truth of the matter. That industrialist was convicted for forgery of a document. And the point what I'm trying to make is, we did what we thought our conscience was clear. We also protected the client by not going and telling the court that this is a forged document, but allowed the court to do its own decision and judgment on the matter. What I'm trying to tell you is this, my friends. It is this that we must inculcate in ourselves. Don't harm others, but at the same time, stand up for what is. My friends, it is necessary for us to realize that if we do not protect ethics today, then I think we are going to go wrong in the next generation. I see a couple of young people sitting here. To you, my only message, young girls, is that ensure that whatever you do, never compromise on your principle and your conscience. The day you compromise on your principle and your conscience, that day will be the beginning of your end. You may have money, but you will not get respect. You will have enough wealth, but people will look upon you as a person unfit to be a part of social society. And I think that is not the status that you need, because money can never buy you a father, mother, love and respect. That only your actions can, nothing else can ever give that to you. It is very rightly said, management is doing things right, leadership is doing the right things. It's not my quote, it's Peter Drucker, who's a leading management consultant, who has said this. And what does he mean by it? We as leaders, who call ourselves leaders to be in Rotary, as members of Rotary, must give the direction to those where we work, in our place of work, amongst our Rotarians, and most importantly, to the youth of this country whom we serve under now the new generation Community Service 5 as a new generation, which is a new avenue created, and more importantly, to the community that you go to serve. I don't know how many of you remember elections. All of us remember, vote used to be purchased. Today the man is very clever. He takes the money but votes for whoever he wants to. That, I think, is also an ethical practice, because these chores have to be deprived of their money. It's part of socialism. Let the money go to a poor man, but he exercises right of franchise by voting for a candidate who he thinks is right. The only problem is both sides are equal chores. वो चोर और घंटी चोर में फर्क ज़्यादा पड़ता नहीं है. And lastly, my friends, Albert Einstein said, and I would like to quote him, try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. The moment we are people with values, I think that is the day when ethics will truly flourish. And if we need to see this country, my friends, as a rich, powerful, glowing country, which everything that this country has, people who are intelligent, people who are hardworking, people who have the capacity to deliver, the only thing that has gone wrong is you and me together having failed the future generation by being corrupt in our mind and in our actions. And I think if that business ethics we do not get into ourselves, that I don't mind losing 5 rupees, but let me be ethical in what I do, because ultimately, दोस्त, जो भी आप करोगे, अगर आपको ये पैसा आना है, तो कोई आपको रोक नहीं सकता. आप कितना भी सोचोगे मुझे अंबानी बनना है, बनने की कोशिश मत कीजिए. It's better to be an Infosys Narayana Murthy than anybody else. But yeah, I'm being honest. Otherwise you have the Swan Telecom and everything else, sending one shoe to one country and another shoe to another country for the purpose of export, and it's selling your license thereafter. Money can get you, but where is the respect? You ask a young man today, when I'm a trustee and a secretary of a large educational institution in Bombay. In our management college, when we had a seminar, a question was asked by a managing director of a company called Keval Handa of Pfizer. He asked the students, I'm giving you 5 choices. Which company will you take? One was the Dhirubhai Ambani group, that now the 2 groups. He gave the choice of Infosys, he gave Tatas, and he gave Hindustan Lever. Except one person, nobody wrote the name of either of the Ambani companies. Now what is the point? You have money, Mumbai Indians can win the championship, but ultimately where is the respect? And ultimately, my friends, that is the bottom line. And I think we as Rotarians, initiators in Rotary for Service, people who believe in service, must give to our youth a future that they will believe in, they will cherish, and they will realize what a wonderful country we are. And how do we do it? Let's get back our sanskar. I think all of us are into Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. I think the sanskar is not Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, not Ekta Kapoor. The sanskar is within us. And if we generate that sanskar within us, I am sure that business ethics, ethics in social, personal life will automatically come to the fore. I have a lot to speak to you, but I think I'm really worried about missing my flight. But it's only 12:30, I can still take a few minutes off you. Unless you want me to stop. You want me to stop? It's very warm, so I don't mind. No, I'm not going to listen to any of you. There are 2 young people who say don't stop, and that really enriches me to speak to you. Friends, it is said, to see what is right and not to do it